my name, you know my name. I'm happy to host you all here, and with the excuse of the honor of Remy's exhibit and visit to the United States. I started the foundation really because I used to have people here, like you, groups who would come and they would be inspired by his story, by his life. Whether they were 90 years old or 12 years old, you know, and even younger, they still enjoy being around. They don't quite understand the depth. But I saw that there, you know, I think there's nothing better than an artist to know that his life meant something to other people. And I know how much he impacted my life. I spent 16 years with him. He was much more than my husband. He was my partner. I worked with him. I saw, even in my, I grew up in New York. I grew up in a very simple family. My parents were both first generation. They both came from Italy. And I thought when I met him, what can I do for this person who has, he was 70 years old, who has achieved such greatness. But simplicity was something that he had gotten so far away from, and he craved as an artist, he needed to be near nature, and he looked to me to help him simplify his life, and it was a wonderful relationship. And I think, he was a very deep person. It's very easy for people to assume that, Hollywood actors, and that he was an artist just by chance, but he was an artist first, and he was an artist throughout his life. And I welcome you as we walk around later to see some of his drawings and paintings and sculptures. These were things expressions of his life that he didn't create to sell. He created to really for his own spirit, for his own personal satisfaction, and knowing what the arts gave him. He would have given up everything in his life just to be near his artwork, and I saw him do that through many, troubles in his life. He said, all I need is my art and I'll be okay. And I think that that's missing in a lot of young people's lives. And so watching my own children go through school and the arts being very pushed aside in many of the educational systems. It's if the parent doesn't push it, the kids don't get it, and I think it's a mistake, because I think it's something that it's a universal language. It's something that, regardless of what you go on to do in your life, if you want to become a banker or a doctor or a lawyer, the arts are something that will help you deal with problems, help you express yourself in ways that can't be expressed in words and can't be expressed any other way but through painting, through music, through acting, through writing. So many of the arts are so important just for personal satisfaction. And you'll see, my husband didn't start selling his work until he was almost 70 years old, and he created his entire life. And I think that was wonderful for him, that he created without having to sell his work, because he created for him, not for anybody else. He didn't create to sell. When he did start to create to sell, it was a little bit more difficult for him, because then he had to be judged by people, and it wasn't just pure expression, but still it was something that he kept with him throughout his life. And I think seeing other people be inspired by it, some people go off in a different direction in their life, and then eventually they go back to what they loved when they were kids. They go back to music, they go back to writing, they go back to painting. And I've heard so many people, older people, come here and say, I'm going to start painting again. My mother made me go to law school or become a doctor, and they hit a point in their lives when they're missing something and they don't know what. And that's it. So if we train kids from young to keep it in their lives, regardless of where they go, that it will always be something that they can go back to. So that's what we're trying to do with the foundation. And it is about Anthony Quinn because he's the inspiration, but it's not about Anthony Quinn, it's about what his life can inspire in another generation of young kids. The struggles are the same. He grew up, he was born in Mexico. His father died when he was 11. He went to California where there was tremendous prejudice and hatred and anger, and there's still that. still that all over the world. No matter what country you go to, there's poverty, people, but all they want is family, they care about their kids, they want to be, united. So the arts do that.